Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. The last book review I have for you today is When Dimple Met Rishi by Sanjay Menon. I loved this book. Again, this is the second book that I've read by Sanjay Menon. The first book I read was From Twinkle with Love, and I loved it. So let's just talk about this, shall we? So obviously it's called When Dimple Met Rishi. So the main two characters are Dimple and Rishi. I'm pretty sure it's Rishi and not Rishi, because there was a little bit of a pronunciation thing in the book between a couple characters, so I'm pretty sure it's Rishi and not Rishi. I could be wrong. I am not Indian, and I'm not good at pronouncing Indian names. So I'm pretty sure it's Rishi, but if it's not, I'm sorry. I'm not good at pronouncing things in other languages. It's just how I am. So anyway, When Dimple Met Rishi is about two characters, obviously, called Dimple and Rishi. And Dimple wants to code this app that will help her father remember to take his medication and watch his diet and exercise because he's diabetic. So she goes to this coding retreat, competition type thing in San Francisco. And there she meets Rishi, who wanted to go there to meet her because him and Dimple have been placed in an arranged marriage by their parents. So he walks up to her and is like, "Hey, what's up, future wife?" And she throws her coffee on him. So, and then obviously they get paired up to work on the app, and it's typical romantic comedy, romance, contemporary stuff. So yeah. And then there's a couple of other side characters. There is Celia, which is Dimple's roommate and somewhat friend. She's kind of like an off and on again friend. And then you have Ashish, Rishi's brother, which he is the focus of the next book. There's something about Sweetie, which I'm currently reading, so I'm currently loving that. I read about half of it yesterday, and I wasn't even planning on it. It just kind of happened because I liked it that much. So, yeah. The romance between Dimple and Rishi, oh my god, it was so fluffy, and I loved it, and I was just like, oh my god, because Rishi is like this really geeky guy. He loves comics, and he's just a total sweetheart, and yeah, I love it. Now, their relationship was going like pretty well throughout the book, and then Dimple does something to help Rishi, and he doesn't know about it. And then Rishi does the same thing for her, but he actually tells her about it. And of course, I was like, when it happened, I was like, oh, this is going to lead to the misunderstanding or the fight that's going to make them break up, and then they're going to get back together by the end of the book, because it's a contemporary. Come on. If you've read a lot of them, you know that it's like everything's smooth sailing. They start dating, they have a fight, they break up or split or take a break, and then they get back together by the end. It's your typical fluffy romance contemporary. But the thing about Rishi is that his father wants him to be an engineer, and I know that this is a type of thing that happens in Indian culture. They typically want to be like in IT or be doctors, or maybe lawyers, I'm not sure. I live in an area where there's a lot of Indian people that work here and stuff, being, you know, Walmart Central. So I know a little bit about Indian culture, which is why I love these books, because it teaches me a little bit more and gives me like a surface level understanding of Indian culture. And like arranged marriages are also a thing. But Rishi loves drawing. Like, he loves drawing his comics. And so he kind of has to confront his family and be like, hey, I don't really want to be an engineer. I want to create comics for a living. So that's another conflict in this book. But there was this one moment, I think it was when Dimple was talking to her mother, because her mother wants her to be more girly, and it was like, if you don't dress girly or act girly, you're never gonna get a husband, which we all know is bullshit, but disregarding that. And like, she's talking to her mother, and like, oh my god, I was sitting there and was like I was legit gonna cry, and I was like, what the fuck? I don't cry in books, which is kind of a lie, because I've cried while reading Doctor Who fan fiction. In fact, I will link you to that fan fiction. It's a series called The Time Child by Danny Fielding on fanfiction.net. She's also on Tumblr if you want to go follow her there. She's amazing, and I love her stories, and she kind of inspired me to write my own, which I'm going off on a tangent, which I am going to leave in because I'm a Doctor Who lover. I am a slut for Doctor Who. The 11th Doctor is my doctor. I'm going to shut up now. But anyway, yeah, that was When Dimple Met Rishi by Sonja Menon. I am, like I said, I'm halfway through when There's Something About Sweetie, and then I have 10 Things I Hate About, 10 Things I Hate About Pinky, which I believe is going to be about Pinky from There's Something About Sweetie and Samir from There's Something About Sweetie, which is, I think, I'm not quite sure. Again, I'm not there, and I'm not reading the synopsis for these books because they're all about side characters from the previous books. So I feel like I don't really need to read the synopsis. But yeah, that was my incredibly long and maybe not so coherent with a little Doctor Who tangent book review for When Dimple Met Rishi by Sonja Menon. And I will see you guys later. Bye!